welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a right winter day here in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border. The roads are slippery, so if you are out and about traveling back and forth to work, maybe you have to go to the grocery store, pick a couple things up, please slow your roll because your family wants to see you at home safely in the crown of Maine. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. I hope it's nice and warm and sunny, filled with fabulosity wherever you might be, and I hope you're having a day with dang good coffee. You're going to need it. We're talking about diseases today. It never ends, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful creatures of the world. As you may have noticed, if you are watching the sickness cycle that has been in the news, well, now bird flu is out of the news. H5N1. Couldn't care less about it at this point. I guess it didn't go over so well. People just weren't buying the smack that they were trying to sell. We do have norovirus. Ladies and gentlemen, please be very patient with me as I pronounce these wild and wacky diseases that are going around. I can never pronounce norovirus right. And I have a bunch of friends that are nurses, and I call them up and I'm like, hey, I think I got the narwhal virus. And they're like, what the hell is the narwhal virus? You know, the one you get on the cruise ship. Oh, norovirus. Please hydrate yourself. Take some Tylenol if you get the fever. You're going to be in the bathroom. It's going to be coming out both ends. Just projectiling. It's the way it works. You're going to be sick for at least 72 hours. Now, there are emergency rooms in the United States of America and Canada, which is not the 51st state. Canadians, please calm down. It's a joke. Donald Trump is not going to make you the 51st state. Do you see all that nonsense going on, ladies and gentlemen? And the Canadians they're riling. They're up in arms. We have some Canadians that consider themselves Americans until the moment Donald Trump said that they should become the 51st state. Then they all have all kinds of Canadian pride, and that's never going to happen. It's okay. We're not going to annex you. It's just a joke. We don't want your shenanigans in our country anyways. I love my Canadian friends. However, you people out there are doing some really wild things. I'm glad Trudeau is out for you. Maybe things will change for you, but don't get hostile. It's a joke. Nobody can take a joke anymore in the country. Anyways, long story short, there are emergency rooms all over the world that are filled to capacity, and they are closing the emergency rooms down in the United States. They're closing them down all over the world. China's got a big problem. You see where this is going? Rerun of a few years ago, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. So we got H5N1, that's the bird flu that give you the pink eye, that we have 64 cases of in the United States, that Gavin Newsom, governor of California, also known as Nancy Pelosi's nephew, declared a state of emergency for, with 34 people ill with it. We have a gentleman in Louisiana that was in critical condition. I don't know if he's still in critical condition. There's HIPAA laws. You can't find certain things out. He's out of the news cycle, the poor man. I hope he is doing well. He had underlying conditions, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and he was over the age of 65. So there you have it. That was that take. Well, that didn't go over so well. It didn't scare the population enough. So now, when you look at the world news and you're looking at China, there is what they're saying is a new virus that is out there, which isn't a new virus. It is HMPV. Now, wait till I go to pronounce this one. Human metapneumovirus, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. I did it. Yay. The human metapneumovirus, it is a pneumonia. It starts off like the flu, and it settles into your lungs, and you get pneumonia. It is mainly affecting children and older people with underlying conditions. Now, the infection does last 2 to 5 days, just so that you know. There are 300 cases reported last week, the last week of December in the United States. The US CDC is watching it, but they are not concerned about it at this time. The treatment for human metapneumovirus is basically support care. So if you get it, you're going to be down for 3 to 5 days. Please don't go around other people. It's not cool. This is spread human to human. It is spread surface to person. So It's one of those things where if you have people in your family that have underlying medical conditions, if you have underlying medical conditions such as obesity, diabetes, any chronic illness, any illness that affects your immune system, you might want to stay away from people that are coughing at this point. And if you get the cough, stay away from everybody else, because wash your hands. All the regular protocol for HMPV. And I know a lot of people in the news cycle are talking about HMPV. They're calling it the COVID-2. They're saying it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. It was discovered in 2001. It was discovered in 2001, and right now they are having a lot of HMPV outbreaks in China. And the cases here in the United States are doubled, but it's nothing to worry about. Like I said, if you get it, you need to understand that it's a respiratory condition. I would not use cough suppressants. That would be my personal thing. I would not use any cough suppressants. I would not use cough drops. Do not do anything to suppress the cough. You want to cough all that crap out of there. And I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wouldn't be around other people. This has been a disease that has been around since 2001. And actually, HMPV has been responsible for a lot of respiratory illnesses over the years. It was just discovered in 2001, but they say it's been around for almost like 50 years. So it's just one of those things. Like I said, if you have underlying conditions, if you have underlying chronic medical conditions, you want to take a little bit extra precaution, but you're not going to panic. You see, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and the news cycle grand, when they want to instill fear, they test the waters to see what works. A week ago, H5N1 was going to kill us. We had the mysterious fog last week. That was going to get you. We have norovirus floating around the United States. And yes, if you do not keep hydrated and you do not, do the things you're supposed to do to recover from these diseases, you're going to have a problem. And now we got the human metapneumovirus. I have get better at saying it. We got the human metapneumovirus, and that is a pneumonia. And like I said, it is basically getting on the kids, and it's getting on the older people and people with underlying medical conditions, chronic illnesses, and things like that. But they want us to live in a constant state of fear and anxiety. We talk about this all the time on my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, when you learn about things, knowledge is power. It takes the mystery, the mystique. It takes the hype out of the way it is being presented to you, because it is being presented to you to cause a little damage up in the upstairs section, to get you riled up so that you will be afraid, so that you will not fully understand what is going on. Because doesn't it sound so scary that emergency rooms are closing down after what happened just a few years ago? Isn't it so scary that the main report is it is coming out of China? It's in the U.S. Cases have doubled. When you just listen to the headlines without getting the meat of the story, your mind makes up some wild stuff because of what happened to us a few years ago. Nobody wants to be sick. However, if you get the norovirus, just stay hydrated. It's about 72 hours. Going to come out both ends. Call the doctor. Figure out with your physician, this is a medical advice because we don't do that here. Figure out with your physician what is best to do for you. If you get human metapneumovirus, understand that most infections last 2 to 5 days. You're going to have flu-like symptoms. You're going to get pneumonia. And right now, the treatment that they're giving is support care. And I personally, I could never, because I have underlying chronic medical conditions, I can't take cough suppressants. I haven't been able to take cough suppressants since I was 15 years old. So I get pneumonia all the time. And that's just something that you don't do. When you understand that you need to make your coughs productive. You want expectorants, not suppressants. And don't use the ones that have an expectorant and a suppressant. What the hell is it doing? It cancels each other out. It's doing nothing, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. And last but not least, that's a lovely pause. Last but not least, when you learn about topics, whether it's Google, I don't like Google very much. I like the Brave browser, but whatever. People got to use Google. People using the DuckDuckGo because it's more convenient. When you Google and you read about what is happening, you actually get into the story. Don't look at the headline. Actually get into the story. Get into the YouTube video to see what content creators are saying. And you will discover that the headlines are pretty sexy. They're there to cause fear and anxiety. They're there to deplete your immune system so that the average cold can not be out of your system for as quickly as it normally would be. Remember, a cold is 3 days coming, 3 days here, 3 days going. So a cold is about a 9-day situation. HMPV, 2 to 5 days. And norovirus is about 72 hours. So use your discernment. Learn about what is going on and understand when a thing don't work, it drops from the news cycle and go try something else. Try again. You got to give them all an A for effort, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Be the kindness that you want to see in the world. Don't be HMPV. Don't be the wacky news cycle with sexy headlines. Be sexy, but don't be sexy headlines. There's no depth to a sexy headline. But being sexy, you got some depth there. Ladies and gentlemen, Carpe Diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.